They going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look out for street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just was waiting.
News of Boosie taking a plea deal for his federal gun case shocked his fans, but the loudest reaction came from Charleston White. The moment the headline hit social media, Charleston practically exploded with excitement. He jumped online laughing, bragging that he'd predicted this for years. He mocked Boosie's situation as if he'd been waiting for this moment.
Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Even going so far as to say he wouldn't care if Boosie spent the rest of his life locked away. Meanwhile, Boosie appeared exhausted and defeated. After battling the case for nearly 3 years, he admitted he was drained and ready for it to end. He told his supporters he didn't want sympathy, just prayers. What makes the situation even more devastating is how the legal system circled back. The same gun charge that was dismissed in 2023 returned in 2024.
Things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making.
This time more aggressively. Prosecutors secured a re-indictment, hitting Boosie hard for being a felon in possession of a firearm, a federal charge known for being nearly impossible to beat. For a while, it looked like Boosie had escaped, like the storm had passed, and he could finally focus on his music and family. But the victory was short-lived. When the feds returned with the same accusation, Boosie knew he couldn't keep fighting.
I'm gonna go to trial with it from the dump, actually, but I feel like this the right move for me. I trust in God.
His message online reflected pure exhaustion. God doesn't make mistakes, and I'm tired of this battle. Fans who have followed Boosie from the early Baton Rouge days recognized a shift. This wasn't the fiery, unbreakable Boosie who fought every critic in every case. This was a man worn thin. 10 years, the potential sentence attached to his plea, isn't just punishment, it's a decade stolen. And while Boosie tried to face the moment with faith,
On the jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street ain't got no God. God do not look out for street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. He going to jail. All that newborn baby. Boosie won't get to see that newborn baby till that baby be walking and talking. Boosie going to jail!
Charleston White treated it like a comedy show. He popped champagne, insulted Boosie, and turned his pain into content. It was cold, even for Charleston, but not surprising. His entire brand thrives on crossing lines others wouldn't. Their conflict didn't start here. The tension began back in 2022 when Kanye West lit the internet ablaze wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. Boosie stepped out and publicly condemned Kanye, calling him out for disrespecting black people. The public mostly agreed with Boosie, but Charleston jumped online and fired shots at anyone questioning Kanye.
Picked it up.
Now it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor, and the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped.
That's when he began targeting Boosie directly. What made it worse was how low Charleston was willing to go. He didn't just insult Boosie. He dragged Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, and even T.I.'s son King into the mess. He called them names, mocked their appearance, and predicted they'd end up in jail. That was the moment people realized Charleston wasn't just trolling. He was provoking in ways designed to hurt families.
I ain't really got no opinion on him because, my opinion can send me to prison. So I ain't really, I ain't really got no opinion on him, once you go to threaten people's kids, talking about you out of line. So, I ain't the one gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all that.
Boosie explained in interviews that he stayed silent because Charleston's tactics were dangerous. He knew one wrong reaction could get him thrown back into jail. But despite his restraint, things escalated when Tootie clapped back at Charleston online. Charleston responded in the harshest way possible, saying he hoped Boosie would die from diabetes and claiming he didn't deserve medication in prison. Soon after, Tootie was arrested on a gun charge.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, you know, certain people you can't really express opinions on, and he one of those. You can't express how you feel because you might end up in prison. And I ain't getting tricked off the street.
And Charleston bragged online that he helped tip off authorities. He claimed law enforcement had been watching Tootie because of Boosie's past and that he'd provided additional information to push things forward. Whether or not any of that is true, the timing made it look like Charleston was actively fueling the chaos. Only months later, Boosie himself was arrested in San Diego after a court appearance.
Brought you up because you were attacking Kanye because of the...
Nah, that was, guess Kanye West, it just happened. Been coming at me. He been coming at me. It's just, you know, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like, that's a danger to what I got going on. Can't take no risk of losing this behind. You know?
Another blow in a year filled with setbacks. The constant legal trouble, the online harassment, and the weight of federal charges all collided, leaving Boosie in one of the darkest moments of his career. And through it all, Charleston cheered from the sidelines, celebrating every fall as if it were a personal win. Now, with a possible decade behind bars hanging over him,
White folk, Boosie, you done got too much. You done let these niggas play you too mother. This internet book dumb and it. Say what Lil Tootie gonna do now? What Lil Tootie say? Listen, Vlad TV. Vlad post everybody going to jail but Boosie. Somebody tag Vlad TV.
Boosie's future is uncertain. His fans continue offering love and prayers, while his critics circle like vultures. The internet is split between empathy and mockery, but one thing is clear: this chapter will shape the rest of his life. What started as internet beef has turned into a real-world disaster, dragging families, careers, and futures into the fire. When news broke that Boosie had taken the plea deal, the internet lit up instantly.
I can't respond to that because once I see a man go up there and say he gonna put you in prison, even if you threaten him or say something about him and he's got facts to where he's put people in prison, I can't take a chance of getting involved with that.
Well, listen, I don't want anything to happen.
He's like, I'm a
And
cop.
nobody screamed louder than Charleston White. The moment the headlines dropped, Charleston hopped online smiling like he'd been waiting for this exact day. He claimed it was God's work, mocking Boosie as if the man wasn't staring down a decade in federal prison. He spun it into some twisted sermon, calling Boosie Daniel in the lion's den, but laughing the whole time like Boosie's pain was entertainment. But Boosie's story didn't start with the plea. For nearly 3 years, he'd been fighting this federal gun charge that refused to die.
Street kid. I'm not a criminal. I'm a kid who was raised to tell the truth. When my mama come in and say, son, what happened? Mama, I didn't do that. I got a paid for lawyer. I got 2 lawyers, Carl Mallory and Louis Stearns. Louis Stearns became Judge Stearns, Judge Louis Stearns, but I had 2 paid for lawyers. My mama is a whale, ain't no street. Hell yeah, I'm gonna tell on you. I've been telling since I was little.
What everyone thought was settled in 2023 came roaring back in 2024 when prosecutors refiled the case harder than before. That's when Boosie finally broke his silence online, telling fans he was exhausted, drained, and simply ready to end the nightmare. God don't make mistakes, he wrote, admitting the constant court dates were weighing down his career, travel, and peace.
In jail, waiting for the FBI to send me the right collar number, because I'm finna make a report on your mother people. And you make the man call your name specifically. The promoter specifically said your mother ain't Lil Boosie. He implemented you and implicated you. Finna go to jail, back to jail. You gonna be on your knees, but them knees gonna
And
be...
Charleston jumped online claiming he'd tipped off police, laughing like he had personally orchestrated it. Whether he did or not didn't matter, the damage was done. Within months, Boosie himself was arrested again right after a court hearing. Cameras caught the pain on his face, but Charleston went live celebrating like it was his birthday. By 2024, the beef had spread into streaming culture. Aiden Ross planned to bring Boosie onto his show, But because he didn't want Charleston's name popping up, Boosie declined. Aiden twisted the story, saying he rejected Boosie out of loyalty to Charleston, until DJ Vlad shut the whole lie down. That moment proved Charleston's influence had even reached Gen Z streamers who used his name for free clout. Charleston then claimed Boosie was blocking his bookings and bragged he had already contacted the feds. With no evidence, like always, he turned it into another long rant dragging Boosie's health, career, and manhood. And somehow, people still believed him. Here's the part most folks don't know. Boosie choosing not to go to trial makes perfect sense. The worst-case scenario wasn't just losing in court, it was Charleston showing up. The same Charleston who publicly admits he's cooperated with law enforcement since he was a teen. He still proudly talks about testifying in a juvenile case that sent one of his friends away for murder. For someone like Charleston, court isn't scary, it's a stage. Imagine Boosie sitting in court while Charleston cracks jokes, points fingers, and then jumps on Instagram moments later saying, "I helped put Boosie away." That risk alone was enough to make the plea deal the safer option. Charleston is now online celebrating like the case is already over, even though Boosie hasn't been sentenced yet. He dances, jokes, and mocks Boosie's prayers, calling his downfall destiny instead of the result of a broken justice system. Some people are laughing along with him. Others are quiet, sensing the weight of what's coming. Because if Charleston is this reckless before sentencing, the circus waiting afterwards might break the internet. One thing's certain, this story is nowhere near finished. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Boosie deserved this? Or is Charleston crossing the line again? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this wild saga. More twists are coming. Trust me,